Hi, this is Peter, and today I'm going to be showing you GoBoard. Now, when you go to GoBoard, you have two options. You can create a new GoBoard, or you can enter an existing GoBoard. Now, when I create a new GoBoard, what you'll see is that the 6 digits or 6 characters at the end of my URL, that is my GoBoard ID. So 72D99A. That is my GoBoard room, my GoBoard ID that I would enter if I wanted to go into an existing board. Now, once you enter the GoBoard, you want to enable your camera and microphone. That way the person that you're working with, be it a student, a tutor, or a colleague, is able to see and hear you. Now, when I click on invite someone to join, there's actually a couple ways that you can invite someone. You can send them a link via email or Facebook message, or you can actually just copy the URL because this URL, goboard.com/72D99A, that is the link to this board, so I can just send that to someone directly. Now you'll also see here at the bottom, if you've never used GoBoard before, you can click on this new to GoBoard. We have a couple tips and tricks here. A few things to mention. You definitely want to try this with Firefox and Chrome because that is the best support for the video and audio. Safari, Internet Explorer, they have a couple issues with a lot of streaming, and so it's best to use Firefox and Chrome. All right, now let's go ahead and enter the GoBoard so we can actually get started here and play around. Now over here on the right hand side, what you'll see is options for turning on and off the camera, the microphone. We do recommend having the camera on. However, if you do have connection issues with your internet or low bandwidth, then you might want to turn the camera off to enable the audio and the board to work properly. Now, if you are having issues later with audio or internet connectivity, you can also open up this text chat feature and you can communicate via text if all else fails. Now you also see here on the board, this is the collaborative board where the tutor and student or colleague can work together, and whatever I write, the other person in the board also sees and is able to write as well. So we have basic tools and we also have some additional tools. You can also just double click or secondary click with your mouse or trackpad to open up our pie menu of tools. Now we have some of our basic tools here. So we have pen tool, which as expected is a pen. I can change colors. I can mark all over the board with this writing tool. I also have a laser tool, and the laser tool is really a great tool for showing people what you're pointing at, because unlike individual one-on-one tutoring sessions, when you're tutoring virtually, the person you're working with can't see what you're pointing at. However, this laser tool allows you to point at things and the other person in the room to see what you're pointing at. So back to our other tools here, we have lines and shapes. We have text tools, so I can type things and people can see what I'm annotating or marking on the board. We also have the eraser tool. So the eraser tool, you can erase individual lines or individual pieces of text. You might also notice that next to the eraser there is a clear. Now we don't recommend that you clear an entire page of the board, because if you're out of space, what you can do is actually just add a page over here, and then I can go back to drawing and I have a bunch of space that I can work with and add things and keep collaborating. But if you absolutely want to, you can also clear a page from the board. Now what's nice about this GoBoard is you could have two options at the end of the session. So I can export. So if I go over here and click on our more tools, I'm able to actually export this board. So I can export this board as a PDF with colors or as a black and white PDF for printing. So I can export it and send to someone if I want a record of the board. Or also I can go back to this URL, this goboard.com/72D99A, and this room stays as a reference that you can go back and look at what you're working on with your students. Now, a couple other tools here that I want to mention. So first of all, on the right, I've talked about the camera and the microphone. There's also a screen sharing option. This is best for strong internet connections. If you don't have a strong internet connection, you might have some problems with that. So it's recommended that you really only do that if you have a strong internet connection to work with. Now, if I click on more tools, we're going to see a few tools here. Import, export, you're able to add images and PDFs and JPEGs and PNGs onto the board directly. We have the text in a photo or file feature, and we also have some subject-specific tools. So, for example, in the math tools, we have a graphing calculator with Desmos, we have equation editor. In the chemistry tools, we have bond drawing tools and curved arrow tools for mechanistic steps. And also in physics and business, we have additional tools like tables and charts and figures. So there's certainly a lot of tools here, and I didn't go over all of them because there's definitely more than what I can cover today. But These are the basic tools, and if you'd like, you can play around and see what else we have to offer.